Hey guys, a lot of you have been wondering how to get certain gathering items in Kvaris, such as for the quests that Ingstad has or Roald has. Yeah, I'll be showing each of the gathering items that you can get from region to region, and just like very good spots to get enough for these quests or just things that you want to use. Alright, so first we're going to start with South Kvaris. So here, you can get Dulamite and Tetrasite, and then also Blizzardium for the minerals. I'll get into Blizzardium later, as this appears in all of the regions, as well as Icicle Orbs. And then for the food items, we have Crisp Kvaris Mushroom, Robust Kvaris Akebia, and Robust Kvaris Crayfish. So the majority of the minerals, like the Dulamite and Tetrasite, are actually in the caves around South Kvaris. So like right from this teleporter down into this cave, should see a whole bunch of Dulamite and Tetrasite kind of just littered around. And then like beyond this cave, there's also some more. So then another cave is that away. But also in this pool here is the crayfish. And then up above, there is another pool on the map where there's a whole bunch of crayfish as well. But actually going up here, you can find a decent amount of the mushrooms that you need. Actually look like little green, little radioactive little pod things here. Yeah, this is what they look like. Yeah, on that. And there's basically a good chunk around this cocoon, which should give you enough for the one quest, but if not, there is another spot for these. Other spot being right here, kind of like by the Gorge teleporter right outside the camp. So here's some more mushrooms, but this is also a spot for the fruit as well, the Kebias. And then an additional spot for the Kebias is also by this other cocoon, the slope style. Alright, and then we have West Kvaris here. This is where you can get Trinite and Pentalite. This is the only zone currently that has Pentalite, which is used for 6 stars and above. And then we have the Rich Kvaris Carrot, the Snail, and the Light Kvaris Plum. So with West Kvaris, the majority of the materials that I've found has been in this west section, or like southwest section. First off, we're going to go for the carrots. We're going to like buy these spikes, or next to the veteran over there. As you can see here, here's like the Pentalite. You can actually destroy these minerals if you have the floating board as well, and you can kind of just like zoom through them. Here is the carrots. I just look like wild carrots in real life. Should be able to get plenty on these spikes. Alright, and then for the snails, they're all kind of like along this coastline, just up and down. You should get just an absolute ton of them if you just kind of run along this coast. And then by the region mag on the coast here, there's a good amount of these trees that give the plums. Alright, and then up next we have Central Kvaris, where there's the most of these gathering items. There's Monotite, Photon Chunks, and Tetrasite. And then we have First Kvaris Guava, First Kvaris Squid, Robust Kvaris Onion, and Notable Kvaris Squid. And then we also have Snoll, which is kind of like the money-making thing, kind of like alpha reactors. So first off with Snoll, this is actually like a mineral that you like hit. They're kind of up and down this upper part of Central, just sort of wrapping around. Then you just kind of smack it, and it just gives you a Snoll, which they sell for 3,500 Meseta, the exact same as alpha reactors, but much, much easier to find. So then here, along this upper part of the river, and also by the cocoon, we can find this Notable Squid. This is a different, like, prefix that we've seen from anything else. So notable, like, gathering items are kind of like the rare versions. They have that little glow, as you saw. and basically they are like the same as their other variant, so like Kvaris squid when used as a food item, but these will have a special purpose when we get the Kvaris exchange shop to exchange for boosters and maybe some other things in there. But if you are wanting the normal crisp Kvaris squid, you just have to follow along this river, and you should get a ton just doing that. So then also along this like entirety of the river, we have the tetrasite in chunks and also the monatite. Chunks monatite there. Basically, as long as you follow this river, you'll get a ton of these minerals. All right, and then for the onions and the guava, if you just go by the wild avalanche cocoon, you can find a ton of those. Onion, guava here. There's also another spot, kind of like at the southernmost end, almost getting into the South Kvaris region, where there's also a bunch of guava and onions, if you need those. All right, and then we have North Kvaris, where there's monatite and trinite for the minerals, and then rich Kvaris persimmon, and light Kvaris cabbage, and light Kvaris octopus. There's also a notable version of the persimmon for the fruit. All right, if you're wanting some of the persimmon, there's actually trees right next to the Rayjord that can give them to you. And then with the cabbages, you just have to jump down to the region mag, down below here. And there'll be kind of some cabbages spread throughout. But other spots for these, there's the notable version up at the very top or the peak. And then also there's some more cabbages by the veteran croc that's kind of by Mr. Wood's teleporter. But then for the monatite and trinite, they're kind of like on this left-hand side for the most part, kind of just like curving around. I don't know if it's really worth going after that, since monatite and trinite are pretty easy in the other regions like an Aleo or a Tem. While here it seems like you have to do a whole bunch of jumps and loops around. But actually along the coastline, you can find the octopus. There's a couple good spots for this. This is what they look like. They're kind of just in, big groups here and there. Yeah, there's one good group on this west side, and there's a good group up here on this north side. So then for the last zone to get gathering items is Rayjord Gorge. So here you can get the crisp Kvaris squid, robust Kvaris onion, and notable Kvaris squid. Another notable item that you can get here is the notable Kvaris meat, which is the only spot that you can get that. So the only spots that I could find these gathering items in, for at least the onions and the squid, are right next to the Rayjord device. Here's the onion, and then just over here is the squid. Yeah, I checked the rest of the region and I just could not find it anywhere else. But if you are wanting the notable Kvaris meat, you have to kill these Komantas, which are these weird little fish-like creatures. They also drop the robust Kvaris meat, but as you saw there, on occasion you can get the notable. So this is like the only notable item that you can like continuously farm, as it is tied to a tames. Yeah, speaking of the meat though, you can basically get any of the meats through the tames throughout the regions. But speaking of all the regions though, let's finally touch on what Blizzardium and these Icicle Orbs are. So Blizzardium is a weird one. It is kind of like the photon scale of Kvaris. So far, I've only been able to find one in West Kvaris on like a mountain here next to the Deepwell Tower. I unfortunately didn't get an image or record it myself because I smacked it kind of like right away on stream. But here's an image from Xenotrigger from Reddit, and that is kind of what it looks like there. Some people are saying that it can only show up during storms or blizzards. I'm not exactly sure how true that is, but in the image it kind of does look like it's snowing, but I feel like it's almost always snowing in Kvaris, so I am not exactly sure about that. But there's other ways to get Blizzardium other than that. So the first way So you can actually get it in the treasure shop on occasion if you are lucky. So here I could purchase one for 20,000 Meseta. So I'll just do that there. Yes. And then you can also get it by smashing the frozen item boxes, but it is very rare from what I have seen. It seems like the most surefire way of getting these is with the Kvaris exchange shop, which is going to show up June 15th. It looks like you can exchange up to 20 per week, and you just need 10 Monotite, 10 Dulamite, 10 Trinite, and 10 Tetrasite for a single one. But it seems like you will be using this for other exchanges within this Kvaris shop, and you can also use it to make Kvaris Dominas. There might be some weapon or something else in the future that requires these, so you might want to stock up on them as they are pretty rare. But then for the final material is Icicle Orbs. You can also get these from the frozen item containers, which the only way to break those is by using the floating boards or using the new throw action. These will be used in the same exchange shop shown just a second ago, either for some of the boosters or whatever else in there. But yeah, that was all of the gathering items for Kvaris. Hopefully this helps you guys out with some of those side quests or gathering items for food boosts, gear, etc. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.